Namaste, beautiful yogis. Welcome to a total body power yoga class, level 1-2, appropriate for beginners with modifications. While we are previewing the class quickly, you can come down onto your mat in a seated position, comfortable seated position, and begin to deepen your breath. During the class, make sure to listen to your body, and if you need to rest, take breaks, pause the video. If you cannot do certain poses, or if certain poses cause discomfort, you can replace those poses with reclining positions such as happy baby, child's pose, or standing poses such as chair pose. Prepare to begin. We're going to come into child's pose. Come onto your knees and lower your forehead towards the ground. Your knees can be hip width apart or together, or your knees can be wide. Focus on your breath. Begin to take nice and slow inhalations through the nose, exhaling through your nose. Great. Come up to a seated, and we're going to stretch side to side. Right hand onto your side, reaching with the left hand up and over, and changing sides. You can sit comfortably if this pose bothers your knees. You can sit in a easy pose. Now we're going to twist side to side, opposite hand to knee, looking over the shoulder behind you, elongating through the crown of the head. Great. Inhale your hands over the head, and we're going to grab the right wrist with the left hand and reach up and over the head, changing sides and keeping the elbows back aligned with your ears in the same line. Excellent. Bring your hands in front of you and take downward facing dog. Hands are shoulder width apart and the feet are hip width apart. The toes are pointing directly forward, lifting the tailbone as high as you can. Coming into a plank from here. Press the heels away from you and pull your belly in. You can keep your knees on the ground if you need to. Excellent. Walk your feet to the front of the mat, forward bend. Keep a slight bend in your knees as you allow your head to be heavy here. And let's wrap the wrists around the elbows and allow your upper body to hang heavy here for a few moments. Breathe. Coming just halfway up, bend your knees, clasp your hands behind you, and open the right shoulder up towards the ceiling. Look up. Changing sides, lengthening through the crown of the head, keeping the knees bent. Pushing the booty back. Chair pose, reaching over the head, sit back in an imaginary chair, pull the belly in, open the chest. Coming out of chair, lift and reach up towards the sky. Clasping your hands, let's reach over to the right and over to the left, elongating both arms, lengthening the sides of the torso, reaching and lengthening. Exhale, forward bend, straight back. Inhale, look ahead of you, hands on the ground. Step back into plank. Lower down onto your belly. Inhale, cobra. Shoulders back and down, elbows into your rib cage. And exhale, downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide open. Belly in. Let's walk the feet to the front of the mat. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, look ahead of you, straight back, come all the way up to standing, clasping the hands over the head, hands over the heart. Big breath in, lifting and reaching over the head. Exhale, forward bend, straight back. Inhale, look ahead of you, step back, plank. Pull the belly in, lower yourself down onto your belly, cobra pose, shoulders away from the ears, lengthen the spine. Press your hands down and lift up into downward facing dog. Nice breath. Slowing down the rate of inhalation and exhalation. Breathing through your nose. Walk your feet to the front of the mat, forward bend. Relaxing the face muscles. Inhale, straight back, come all the way up to standing. Clasp your hands over the head, reaching up, hands over the heart. Big breath in, circle your arms up. Exhale, straight back, forward bend. Inhale, look ahead of you. Hands on the ground, spread the fingers open, step back, plank. Nice core strong plank. Slowly lower yourself down onto the ground, cobra. Open the chest, shoulders back and down, lengthening. And press your hands down, strong core. Lift into downward facing dog. Drawing the navel in towards the spine in downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide open and press into the base in each and every finger. Let's walk the feet to the front of the mat. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, straight back, come all the way up to standing. Hands over the third eye, hands over the heart. Big breath in, reaching over the head, chair pose, sit back. Exhale, hands on the ground, forward bend. Inhale, look ahead of you. And let's step back, plank. And lower down chaturanga if you can, upward facing dog, or you can go for cobra again. Second chaturanga optional, and back into downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up, step the right foot between your hands and come up. Warrior 1. Drop the back heel down, press into the outer edge of the left foot, and the hips should be working to square forward. Pressing the right leg and hip back, left hip forward, rotating the left hip inward. Straight back, exhale, both hands on the floor, lower down chaturanga, upward facing dog, back to chaturanga, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Step the left foot between the hands, drop the back heel down and come up, warrior 1. First warrior, take it easy, breathe. Working the right hip forward, trying to square the hips eventually. Exhale, straight back, hands on the ground. Lower down chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga, exhale, downward facing dog. If you're struggling with chaturangas, take my 30-day chaturanga challenge, which is on my channel, and you will be amazed. Let's step the feet to the front of the mat, forward bend. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing, reaching over the head, hands over the third eye, hands over the heart. Inhale, chair pose, hands over the head. Exhale, forward bend, straighten the legs. Inhale, look ahead of you, hands on the ground, step back, plank. Belly in, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga, exhale, downward facing dog. lifting the tailbone as high as you can. Feet parallel to each other. Inhale the right leg up. Step the right foot between the hands. Come up, warrior, 1. Drop the back heel down. Exhale, both hands down on the ground. Plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Step the left foot between the hands. Drop the back heel down and come up. Warrior 1 on the left side. Reaching over the head. Breathe. Exhale. Lower the hands all the way down. Plank and chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Optional chaturangas from your knees. In downward facing dog, lifting the tailbone high, shoulders away from the ears. Walk your feet to the front of the mat. Exhale, forward bend. And inhale, chair pose. Sit back into your chair. Press the hips back. Inhale, coming all the way out of this. Hands over the heart. One more time, chair pose. Reach over your head. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, look ahead of you. Plank pose. Chaturanga, maybe from your knees. Inhale, upward facing dog, maybe cobra. Chaturanga, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Step the right foot between the hands, drop the back heel down, come up. Warrior 1. Shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, hands down on the ground, plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga. If you need to modify, and downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, square the hips. Step the left foot between your hands, bend the left knee and come up, warrior 1. Rotating the right hip internally. Hands facing each other, palms of the hands facing each other here. Exhale, both hands on the floor, straight back, step back plank. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. And back to chaturanga, exhale, downward facing dog. Continue breathing and focusing on your breath, lifting the tailbone as high as you can, stepping the feet to the front of the mat, forward bend. You can grab your calves and hold here, allowing your face muscles to relax and your gaze to soften. You can shake your head. Slight bend in your knees, and you can wrap your wrists around your elbows and just allow your upper body to hang heavy here, allowing your spine to decompress, allowing your neck to relax. And you can drop your hands on the ground. Great. Bend your knees and straight back, come up, chair pose. Inhale out of chair, reaching over the head. And you step your feet hip width apart. Let's walk the right hand down the right leg and reach with the left arm up and over, lengthening, changing sides, walking the left hand down the left leg, reaching with the right arm up and over the head, lengthening the sides of the torso. Coming out of this, hands over the head, palms of the hands facing each other. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, look ahead of you. Hands on the ground, step back, plank. Lower down, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Step the right foot between your hands, drop the back heel down and come up, warrior 1. Palms of the hands facing each other. Let's bring the hands out to the sides, warrior 2. Now your left hip is rotating out externally and your hips are facing your side wall, your wall to the left. Exhale, both hands on the floor, plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, step the left foot between the hands, drop the back heel down and come up. Warrior one. Hands over the third eye or over the heart and open into warrior two. Lead knees facing directly forward. Externally rotating the right hip here. Pressing into the outer edge of the right foot. Windmill your hands to the floor and step back plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Step the left foot between the hands. Drop the back heel down and come up. Warrior one. Hips facing forward. Open into warrior two. Relax your shoulders. The hands are reaching, the fingertips are reaching away from each other. Walk the left hand down the left leg. Reach with the right hand up and over the head. Reversing the warrior, keeping the knee bent. Windmill your hands all the way to the ground. Plank. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Step the left foot between the hands. Drop the back heel down. Come up. Warrior one. And let's open into warrior two. Sink a little deeper into your warrior. Begin to walk the right hand down the right leg. Turn the left palm up and reach up and over your head. Relax your shoulders away from the ears, keeping the left knee bent. Exhale, windmill the hands all the way to the ground. Step back, plank. Lower down chaturanga, upward facing dog. Lengthen. Back to chaturanga and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Step the left foot between the hands. Drop the back heel down. Come up, warrior one. And open into warrior two. Taking the left foot a little further back. Little wider stance here. Reverse the warrior. Walk the left hand down the left leg. Right knee facing directly forward. Inhale, coming back to warrior two. Exhale, right elbow over the right knee or right hand on the ground in front of the right foot or by the right foot. Side angle. Lengthening both sides of the torso here. Reach up and over your head with your left hand, palm of the hand, rotating down. Exhale, both hands on the inside of the left foot. And here you will leave your left hand on the floor and take the right arm up, twist. The chest is twisting towards your right knee. Keep your knee in. Left heel straight up. Both hands on the floor. Squeeze your right knee into your chest. And we're going to take a few steps here with the right foot. Bringing the foot forward, tapping the floor and stepping back. Pull the belly in. And great. Lower down chaturanga, upward facing dog. Chaturanga, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Step the left foot between the hands. Drop the back heel down. Come up, warrior one. Vira one. Open into warrior 2, walk your right foot a little further back, take a little wider stance here, left knee facing, pointing directly forward. Turn the left palm up and walk the right hand down the right leg. Keep the left knee bent. Reverse the warrior. Coming out of this, and let's bring the left elbow over the left knee, or you can lower the hand down on the ground. Side angle, reaching towards the ceiling with your right hand. And let's reach up and over the head, palm of the hand rotating down. Press into the outer edge of your right foot, lifting the arches of the feet. Exhale, both hands on the floor, spin the back heel up. And let's take the left hand up, twisting here. Keep your left knee in. Hands reaching away from each other, press the back heel away from you. Exhale, both hands on the floor, and we're going to take a few steps here with the left foot. Tap the left foot forward and back, little steps, squeezing the knee into your chest. 5 of those, you can do 10 next time. Squeezing the belly in, and you can rest for a moment in child's pose, allowing your shoulders and hands and wrists to relax. The breath is coming back to normal. Focusing on your breath. Great. Let's press the hands down and come up into downward facing dog, lifting the tailbone high, dropping the heels down. Walk your feet to the front of the mat. Exhale, forward bend. Feet hip width apart, chair pose, straight back. Extending the tailbone slightly down. Great. Let's take one-legged chair pose, left foot in front of you. Change sides, right leg extending in front of you. And back to chair. Inhale, reaching over the head. Exhale, hands over the heart. Here you will bring your hands on your lower back, fingertips pointing up, or if you cannot have them up, out, elbows walking towards each other. Press your hips forward, toes pointing directly forward, and lift your chest up towards the ceiling. We'll go one more time. So make sure that your feet are pointing directly forward, very important. Elbows walking in, and open the chest up towards the ceiling for a nice back extension. When you're done, hands over the heart, chair pose. Forward bend, straighten the legs. You can clasp your hands behind you and soften the shoulders here. Shake your head, soften the face muscles. And let's bend the left knee and bring the left hand on the floor. Right arm reaches up. Twisting here, changing sides. Bend the right knee, right hand on the floor, left arm reaching up. Lengthen through the crown. Exhale, both hands on the floor. Inhale, looking ahead of you, and step back in plank. Strong belly, pressing heels away from you, inner thighs working. Lower down chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Step the right foot between the hands. And come up, warrior one. Relaxing the shoulders, let's bring the right hand on the right hip, straighten the right leg, square your hips forward, reach with your left hand forward, Revolving triangle pose, lowering the left hand down on the floor or on your shin bone. Take the right arm up. Soften your belly as you twist in this pose and lengthen through the crown of the head. Keep pressing the right hip back. Both hands lower down onto the shin, onto the right side shin bone, and you can lower your chest over towards the right leg here. Intense side stretch. Squaring the hips forward. Great, hands on the ground, step back plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, back to chaturanga, and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, square the hips, step the left foot between the hands, drop the back heel down, and come up, warrior one. Breathe. Straightening the lead knee. You can step your back foot in, square the hips, close in the foot, the right foot slightly in. Reach with your right hand forward and lower it down on the shin bone or on the ground. Left arm reaches up, twist here, spinning, lengthening through the crown of the head. Press the left hip back, right hip presses forward to square the hips. Do not lock your knees here, keep a light slight bend in both knees. Arches of the feet are lifting. The breath is normal, deep. Great, and let's lower the chest towards or over the left leg. You can keep the left knee bent here. And you should feel a nice stretch all along the back of your legs. Nice, complete exhalations. Breathe, soften. Enjoying the moment. Great, look ahead of you. Step your left foot back, plank. Enjoying your strength here. Side plank, left hand on the floor, and feel free to modify by stepping the right foot in front of you. Hips are on top of each other. Lift your hips and feel your obliques working here. Reach with your right hand forward. Exhale, both hands down, plank. Opposite side, right hand on the floor. You can step your left foot in front of you, tapping it on the floor for a little added support so that your alignment is good here and you are strengthening your obliques. Reach up and over the head with your left hand, palm of the hand facing down. Exhale, both hands down, plank. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga and exhale, downward facing dog. Nice, complete exhalations through the nose. Inhale the right leg up. Square the hips, step the right foot between the hands and come up. Warrior one. Hips facing forward, bending the right knee. Let's straighten the right knee. Right hand on the right hip, reach with your left hand forward. Revolving triangle pose one more time. Keep the hips square, press into the outer edge of the back foot. The hands are reaching away from each other here. Let's bring the right hand on the right hip and bring the left hand somewhere in front of the right foot, revolving half moon pose. Taking the left leg parallel to the floor, flex the foot, turn the toes down, Great, let's bring the hands out to the sides, warrior three. Level the hips. Slowly come up to standing, and let's bring the left knee into the rib cage. Step the left foot on the inside of the right thigh. Tree pose. Open the left knee out and back, extending the tailbone down, hands in prayer. Focus on your breath here and your gazing point, drishti point, choosing a point on the floor and allowing yourself to become still, allowing the mind to become still in this balancing pose. Let's release, knee into the rib cage, bring the right hand on the left knee and take your left arm behind you, look back behind you. Release, warrior three. Exhale, both hands on the floor, step back, plank. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Maybe a second chaturanga, downward facing dog. Take the left leg up. Step the left foot between the hands. And slowly come up straight back, warrior one. Straightening the legs, square your hips, closing in the right foot slightly, reach with your right hand forward, twist here, left arm reaches up, revolving, triangle pose. Do your best, lengthen through the crown of your head and keep coming back to this class to perfect these poses or to deepen your alignment in these poses. Great. From here, left hand onto the left hip. Take your right hand in front of the left foot, revolving half moon pose. Take the right leg parallel to the floor. Reach with your left hand up towards the ceiling. Keep the twist here. Excellent. And warrior three. Open the arms out for balance. Level the hips with the floor. Slowly come up to standing and bring your right knee into your rib cage. Let's bring the right foot into the upper thigh, if possible, if not on the calf. Tree pose, hands over the heart, focus on your drishti point, allowing the mind to be still while you're working on your balance. Pressing that right knee back. Excellent. Release, knee into the rib cage. And let's bring the left hand onto the right knee. Right hand reaches behind you, twist here. Look behind you, focus on a drishti point. One more time, breathe. And warrior three. Level the hips with the ground, open the arms out. Exhale, both hands on the floor, step back plank. Lower down chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up, step the right foot between the hands, and come up, warrior one. Hips squaring forward, Open the arms out, step your left foot a little further back, warrior two. Right knee pointing directly forward. Straighten the legs, reaching way ahead of you, prepare for triangle pose, hinging at the hips, lower the right hand on the right shin bone, left arm reaches up, lengthening both sides of the torso here, left hip opening. Do not hyperextend your knees, reaching up and over the head with the left hand. Shoulders on top of each other, hips aligning. Alright, look ahead of you and we'll take the right hand somewhere in front of the right foot for half moon pose. Trying to align the hips on top of each other, shoulders on top of each other, flexing the left foot. Take your time with all these poses, they take a while. So be easy on yourself, keep coming back to this class. Great, stepping back in triangle pose. Excellent. Let's walk both hands to the center of the mat, forward bend, wide-legged forward bend here. You can bring your hands onto your ankles and allow your head to be heavy. Great, walk your hands to the front of the mat. Plank, and we're going to take 10 steps, right foot steps forward, right knee touches right elbow. 10 of those, keeping the belly really firm. This is your core building posture. So count, do your own counting to 10 and really keep the integrity here of the movement. Breathe. Great, slowly lower down Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to Chaturanga and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up, step the left foot between the hands, drop the back heel down and come up, warrior one. Hands over the heart, warrior two. Take a little wider stance here. The left knee is pointing directly forward, rotating the right hip externally. Relax your shoulders, straightening the lead knee, hinging at the hips. Reaching forward and lower your left hand down, either on the left shin bone or on the floor. Open the chest, drop the shoulders away from the ears and lengthen through the crown of the head. The spine is elongated in triangle pose. From triangle pose, look down and take your left hand in front of the left foot, transitioning into half moon pose. Hips stacking on top of each other, flex the left foot, pull the toes back in towards you, shoulders on top of each other. Great. And step it back into triangle pose. And let's bring the feet parallel to each other. Lower down, forward bend, wide-legged forward bend, feet parallel to each other, pressing in all four corners of each foot. Hands on the ankles. Let your head be heavy. You can bring your chest over the right leg, walking the hands to the right ankle, hands to the left ankle, chest over the left leg. And let's bring the hands to the front of the mat. Left knee leading, come up, high lunge, right heel pointing straight up. Reaching with your hands over the head, hands over the heart, right elbow on the outside of the left knee, twist. Lunge with a prayer twist. Open the chest, drop the shoulders away from the ears, spacious around the neck, look over your left shoulder. Keep pressing the back heel away from you. Coming out of this, exhale both hands on the floor. And we're going to take a few steps, 10 steps knee towards the left elbow, left knee to the left elbow in plank. Belly in. Slow controlled movement, great. Take your right foot between the hands. You can take it with your hand as demonstrated and come up high lunge, left heel straight up and away from you. Hands in prayer. Let's bring the left elbow on the outside of the right knee, twist and look over your right shoulder, lengthen through the crown of the head and soften your belly as you exhale. Keep pressing the left heel away from you. Inhale, coming out of this, reaching over the head. And let's step both feet at the front of the mat, chair pose. Pull the belly in and slowly lower down, coming into a seated. In any way you can come down to a seated pose. Once you're in a seated pose, you're going to grab your big toes with the index, middle finger and thumb and straighten your legs either halfway or all the way, balancing here. Open the chest. Great, you can release. Lower the left leg down. Right foot on the outside of the left knee. Left elbow on the outside of the right knee, twisting here. Shoulders down and look behind you. Look back over your right shoulder. Lengthen through the crown of the head. This twist is perfect for your digestion. Changing sides. Right knee on the ground, left ankle on the outside of the right knee, right elbow on the outside of the left knee. If you don't get this the first time, don't worry, it's a twisty pose and it can be confusing at first. Open your chest and look back over your left shoulder. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Inhale forward and we're going to bring the left knee, stacking the knees on top of each other, over the right knee, walking the heels towards your sitting bones. Let's take the left arm forward, right arm up, wrap them and reach up. So the left elbow is under and you're reaching up towards the ceiling, wrapping the arms around each other, softening the back of the shoulder. And release. We're going to change sides here. Right knee on top of the left, walking the feet towards your sitting bones. Right arm forward, left arm up, cross them and wrap them around each other, reaching up here, softening the back of the shoulder, relaxing the breath. Enjoying the moment. And release. You can come into a cross-legged seated pose, Sukhasana, easy pose, and pause for a moment here. Coming back to your breath, let's extend the right leg in front of us and take the left ankle over the right knee, flex the left foot, right foot flexing as well, reaching over the head and exhaling forward bend. This is a hip opener here, allowing the left knee to open, down, so that you're stretching your left hip and your right hamstring. Breathe, relax. Don't force the stretches, just ease into them. Next, optional, half lotus. You can bring the top of your left foot onto your right upper thigh and inhale the hands over the head, exhale forward bend. If you cannot do half lotus, just keep your left foot on the inside of the right thigh. Soften into the stretches, soften your breath. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, your hands behind you. Changing sides. Right ankle over the left knee, flexing both feet. Inhaling the hands up, exhaling forward bend. And just breathe into that right hip here. Stay gentle with all these stretches. Stretching softly, making it a pleasant experience. Honoring the body experience. And next, optional, half lotus, or you can have the right foot on the inside of the left upper thigh, or half lotus, right foot over the left thigh and a forward bend. Softly stretching here. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, hands behind you. And we'll prepare for tabletop. Fingertips pointing back at you. Feet parallel to each other, hip width apart. Hands are shoulder width apart. Press the hips high. Ankles underneath the knees. This is working the entire back side, posterior side of your body. Release. One more time, come up, tabletop. And optional here, you can take one leg up at a time. Changing legs. Keep pressing the hips up. This is working your booty and the back of your legs, strengthening your backside. Great. Release and slowly lower down onto your back. Come laying down on the ground. Bridge pose. Press the shoulders down into your mat. Feet are still, hip width apart, toes pointing directly forward. Press the hips as high as you can. Again, engaging the back side of the body, lifting as high as you can. This pose is great for the thyroid as well. Slowly release one vertebra at a time. Let's bring the right knee into the chest and across from the body. Supine twist. Both shoulders remain on the floor. Look back away from your knee over your right shoulder. Slowly coming out of this, you can draw a few circles with your knee into your chest, changing sides, a few circles with the left knee. And let's bring the left knee across. Supine twist. Left shoulder remains on the floor. Look over your left shoulder. Great, let's hug both knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Soften your breath here. Happy baby, grab the outer edges of your feet or your ankles and drop the knees by your rib cage. Tapping into the happiness of a baby. Excellent. Optional here, if your neck is fine and you've never had problems with your neck, plow pose. Lift your legs up and over your head. You can clasp your hands on the ground. soften the back of your throat here. Another pose excellent for thyroid. Hands on the lower back, lift your legs up, shoulder stand or half shoulder stand. And you can play with your legs here in shoulder stand and bring the knees down over your ears. To come out of this, hands on the ground and slowly, one vertebra at a time, lower yourself down onto the ground. And you can bring your hands under your sitting bones or hips and lower the top of the head towards the ground in fish pose, opening the chest here and supporting your body with your elbows. Do not put any weight onto your head. Slowly coming out of fish pose, lower down and make yourself comfortable for Shavasana. The final relaxations, laying down on the ground, allowing your muscles to soften and relax, allowing yourself to be completely relaxed and aware of your breath. For the next few moments, just focus on your breath. Focus your attention on your breath so that your mind is following the breath and you're present in this moment. Usually we allow every moment to slip away from us by us not being present and not paying attention to it. Right this very moment, pay attention to the moment, not to a future moment or a past moment, but this very moment, which will become timeless and which will allow you to tap into the divine presence within. It will allow you to tap into your inner strength, into your core strength, into that which is eternally connected to truth, to higher truth within you. So stay in this moment and keep bringing yourself back to this moment where everything is possible. Namaste.